Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it has been a little while, and I really apologize. I don't have any really good reason for having kind of fallen off the face of the earth for the last couple months, other than I got out of the habit, and that's a big lesson in and of itself. When you are doing something that's important and worthwhile, just keep doing it even when it's hard, because if you stop for a couple of weeks, you never know what's going to happen. Okay, but I'm back. I hope to be back and to continue to share a little inspiration, a little video, some ideas, a couple thoughts to share and to discuss at the Shabbat table. And what I wanted to talk about this week is an episode, quite a famous one, thanks to the Broadway musical, where Joseph is being tempted over and over again by the wife of his master, Potiphar. And she's seducing him, and she's continuously trying to pull at him to get to involve himself in immorality with her, and he resists this temptation again and again, not just once. And he was young and he was handsome, and somehow he managed to overcome this continuous temptation towards the wife of his master, Potiphar. How did he succeed in doing this? Well, the rabbis of the Talmud have something to say on the matter. They point out that every single time that Yosef was tempted to accept the offer and the enticement of the wife of Potiphar, he saw in the window an image of his father. His father, of course, was Jacob. And that image that he would see of his father was enough for him to be able to overcome the urge and the temptation and to stay the course and to continue commitment to his life of morality, of values and principles. That's an amazing thing. There's a lot to unpack there. But first of all, I look at this in two ways. I look at it as far as the need to have in our lives role models, people who we form relationships with, who we have so much respect for, who we look up to so much that we can imagine them in our life with us, carrying us sort of on our shoulder along the course of life in those difficult moments, either a moment of temptation where there's an urge or an impulse to do something which is inconsistent with the person that I want to be, where I would be selling myself short for some immediate pleasure gratification. And I can turn to that person, even if that person is no longer alive, and think about them and think about how they would feel or what reaction they would have if they were with me right now in this moment in this room. That's a very powerful way to avoid getting distracted in life with things that going down rabbit holes and going into places that you do not want to go. So that's one, carrying with me, finding somebody, identifying somebody as a role model in my life and carrying that person with me at all times in those moments of challenge so that when I need to, I can draw upon their inspiration. But then it makes me think about the other way around. Will my children or my students or people that I've had the opportunity to be connected to throughout my lifetime perhaps look at me as somebody that they can carry with them? And if not, what do I need to do to change that? In other words, what do I need to do as a parent to invest in my child and to develop the sort of relationship with them that will help them as they go through their life to be able to face the challenges that will inevitably come their way by using me as a source of inspiration. And I think about that with my own children. I think about that with my grandchildren. What can I do now? How can I build the type of relationship with them? How can I develop the type of connection with them that I can be providing them with a vision, an image of somebody that they can carry around with them and to draw inspiration from when they are most challenged. And the third thing I want to point out is, why do the rabbis need to go into the details of pointing out that that Joseph saw the image of Jacob in the window? Could have been anywhere. Who cares where it was? He saw it on the wall. He saw it in a book. Why is it important to mention that he saw this image in the window? A lot of interpretations and explanations about this, but one is that when you look into a window, especially at night, what do you really see? You see a reflection of yourself. What Yosef saw when he looked in the window wasn't an image of his father, it was an image of himself. But his father had been so deeply ingrained and internalized into who he was that he was able to see his father in himself, and the values and the principles and the guiding lessons that his father had imparted and given to him throughout the early years of his life. They were so deeply internalized that even though it was his father and the lessons and the message and the morality of his father, but it was really in him. When he looked in the window, he saw himself, but he saw his father in himself. There's a lot to think about. We can discuss this at the Shabbos table, and it should be a great discussion. So anyway, wishing everybody a wonderful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom from Yerushalaim.